Hi, and welcome to the Diamond Chronicles, true tales of trade, trust, and betrayal, and what I refer to as the world's second oldest industry. I'm here this morning, high atop the beautiful Marriott Pinnacle Hotel in downtown Vancouver with my lovely assistant,
the Diamond Apprentice. This is Juju, or Judy Lee.
Juju, is that what we're going with? We're going with Juju. So you have good juju. Is that where you're?
Of course, always.
So I'm going to wait and see examples of that and see how it goes today. Because so far it's hard for me to kind of go that direction.
Well, I feed off people's energies.
So I'm the problem.
You're the problem.
I'm the problem. I understand. I'm in the middle of four sisters, so I understand for sure that I'm the problem. Look, we're excited again today about what we're going to be talking about. And I'll say this before we get started, a couple sort of short notes is thank you for the emails. Thank you for the comments on the podcast. Thank you for the young woman who we didn't even know followed us, who came up to me yesterday in front of a restaurant and said, I love your podcast. I really want to know what makes diamonds special. Could you do an episode on that? So, Taylor, we're going to be, thank you very much, doing an episode on that, and we'll give you lots of advance notice. Also, if you're online Googling, and this is news I hear too much, and I just want to talk about it because we're going to be talking about the backstage in the industry and what happens with these robberies and the crime associated with the industry. I myself have had guns pointed at me on more than one occasion, and thieves in the ceiling of my offices in the beautiful World Trade Center here in Vancouver. And the recent story is another Brinks robbery. And, you know, you hear about these Brinks robberies all the time. I mean, are they supposed to be getting robbed to begin with? And what makes this story more compelling, and we'll go into this when we do the episode, is the fact that that there's $150 million worth of goods missing from a trade show in California, but the insurance was only for $10 million because they underinsure when they ship this stuff with Brinks because they trust Brinks. Myself, I've never been a Brinks fan. I'm a Malcolm-It fan. We'll talk about that. The Israeli security company that moves things around. And some of these backstage stories in the industry that you'll find difficult to believe it's true. But these are true tales of trade, trust, and betrayal. Right now, what we're talking about this episode is engagement betrayal. Is how the industry, whether you choose to believe it's betrayal or not, is up to you. We're just going to provide the facts. We talked last week about, Juju, what did we talk about?
Well, last week we talked about the 4 C's. We only touched base on 2 of the 4 C's. So this week we'll be talking about cut and clarity.
Cut and clarity. And then there's the 4 other C's.
I
gave it away that they're C words, but there are 4 other C's we're going to talk about. So let's talk about cut and clarity. So a bit of a recap. Mm-hmm. The 4 C's were developed in 1939 as a way for an ignorant industry to sell to an even more ignorant public. And the way I would talk about it now is, although the industry really knows what's going on with the 4 C's and really how they fall far short of what you need to know in order to really understand the value of a diamond, they're still using that same 4 C's from 1939 to value the diamonds. And you can have identically graded diamonds on the 4 C's and have one of them be this exceptionally beautiful stone and have the other one be a dud based on the 4 C's of cut, color, clarity, and carat. So let's talk about the last 2 of clarity and cut. And I'm going to go with clarity first. And then let's talk about the other 4 things. And then let's look at questions and get prepared, I guess, for the next podcast.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, so let's talk about clarity. And so we've talked about color, or the absence of color in a diamond, and how diamonds work like prisms. And so we're looking for no color, transparency, which is, you know, one of the reasons I believe, or could be the biggest reason, we don't have to advertise for clients. Our diamonds, it's not about buying diamonds, it's about owning them. And beauty is that thing that people kind of look for in a diamond when they go to buy them. and it's kind of nebulous when you talk about it, but everybody knows it when they see it. And so we're going to keep using the example of a prism. Prisms don't have any color. They're transparent, okay? So we talked about color, we talked about carat, by the only objective part. And you know, the only thing all gems have in common, Juju, is they are all weighed in carats.
Right.
That's where it begins and ends. And it's interesting as well because it's the only objective measurement. Everything else is subjective, and jewelers can say anything they want.
Right.
Clarity, okay? It's all opinions, apparently, although technology has surpassed it being opinions. I mean, there's AI being used, artificial intelligence in the industry right now. We're going to talk about that. We're going to lead you in that direction and tell you really what's important. But clarity. So when diamonds were born 3 billion years ago, or in a lab last week, because they can't tell the difference anymore, what clarity is clarity is the absence or the presence of anything that gets caught in the stone when it forms. And to the degree that it's there, or I guess not there, determines clarity. And it's actually a very, very simple scale. You know, the first acid test is, can you see it with the naked eye? Now, when they grade diamonds at organizations, the big laboratories, they choose to only grade them through the top for some reason, when it's much easier to see inclusions or black spots, some people like to call them, or chips in the girdle or cracks in the stone, because these things are all there. They're all under the clarity heading. Clouds is another one. And so they choose to grade them through the top, when if you turn it over, you can see the diamond much easier. And so here, with our clients, we grade them top to bottom. And the first thing is, can you see anything with the naked eye? Because if you can, your diamond's imperfect. And for years, they keep changing the euphemisms they use to describe these things. But if you can see something in your diamond, I wouldn't recommend it. If it's an engagement ring, I saw the cutest TikTok the other day about a girl who gets her engagement ring and what she does. And you know what she will do? She will stare at it for hours. She will look up and down. She will magnify. And if there's something in the diamond, pardon me, that could compromise the beauty, she's not going to be happy. She may never say anything to the guy who gave it to her, but
she'll be thinking about it.
She'll be thinking, and not only that, but you won't see her left hand anymore because she'll be embarrassed that someone else will see the spot. It's the same thing with color. When girls get engagement rings, we already talked about this,
right,
they compare. And, you know, we had a client of ours from how many years ago? 15 years ago? He had the picture from a long time ago.
Yes,
okay?
That's right.
And wanted to get earrings from us. And he looked at me and said, Colin, do you remember you made my engagement ring? And we've done hundreds of millions of dollars worth of engagement rings. No, I didn't remember. I said, show me a picture. And you could tell it was my ring. I could tell, because the diamond glowed. Even in this picture that was taken all these years ago.
The photo was dark. The
ring was spectacular.
Yeah.
And that's about owning. And he was back getting me to get diamond earrings for her 15 years later. And he said, you know, the reason I'm here is everywhere we go. He said, there's bigger diamonds, there's smaller diamonds, there's never more beautiful. And that's the thing that you're looking for in an engagement ring. Right? I mean, that's value. And that he looks like a smart guy for having done that. He is a smart guy. I know him very well. But he was a smart guy for having done that. Judy's giving me the sign not to tap on the table because I get excited about this stuff.
So animated all the time. It's great.
Right?
But not for the podcast.
Okay.
So are we finished with clarity?
Well, no, I want to run through it a little bit more.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, you're always rushing me is what it is. But with clarity, if you can see something, that's a first acid test. So there's a scale. And the scale goes from imperfect to small inclusions, SI grade. You'll hear these if you're in jewelry stores because they haven't changed it a bit. You'll hear VS, which, by the way, when you hear these terms, SI in a diamond, they'll go SI. No one will say it means small inclusions. There was a time when small inclusions were not visible to the naked eye. Through subjectivity and the easing off of restrictions by the GIA, at a diamond conference I was at in Victoria, British Columbia in I believe it was 1993, with De Beers and the GIA, they had eased off. So SI, you could see something, but now at arm's length, which is, I don't understand why, but if you can see it, it's not worth owning, in my opinion. Okay, so move above that. You have VS, which is very small inclusions from small inclusions. Then you have VVS, which, take a guess. All right, very, very small inclusions. And then you have internally flawless and flawless. And by the way, we're working with the most beautiful pink flawless diamond right now. If anybody's looking for something like that as an investment, they're an amazing stone. Try to find one in the whole world. But that's clarity. And
so Colin, where on the scale would you recommend for someone looking to get a diamond that has both value and is beautiful?
Right. Okay, good question. You're really learning this quickly. Did you study your GIA course last night like you said you would?
Not really.
Your certificate, I guess you get it pretty soon, though, right?
That's true.
Judy's enrolled at the Gemological Institute of America, too. Anyway, but I recommend, my favorite grade, and I think globally the favorite grade, I've traveled to countries like from China to Southeast Asia to all over the world, really, is I think VS1 is my favorite grade and above, because you're now it doesn't mean you won't see something with the naked eye, so we examine it regardless, but 95 times out of 100 there's nothing there. Okay, and we show our clients how to do this so they can see it for themselves. And clarity also, you can think of them as birthmarks in the diamond, because they can also help you identify your diamond. And in a world where nowadays, because of the value of these things, there's counterfeit certificates and everything else you need to worry about, which we will also be talking about in the future. So that's clarity. Did I do well on that, Judy? Or?
That's great.
Yeah, thank you. Let's talk about cut, because cut I saved for the last.
We can talk about it being the most embellished of the
but not for the reason you would think. Okay, so I don't want to pick on Tiffany, but I see Tiffany a lot. I love Tiffany. I love the brand. My daughter, I got her for a Sweet 16, the Tiffany bracelet, and Christmas Tiffany bracelet, no diamonds. And the necklace for a Sweet 16.
Can I be your daughter too?
Yeah, no, Jude. Okay, we're lucky. You're lucky to still be employed. What was I going to say? And so I love the brand. Please don't mistake that. But if you Google Tiffany and Tiffany, what makes their diamonds so luxurious and so beautiful, they will tell you it's cut. And they will go on about the cut of the diamond and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to say this. It's not cut. It's only cut if you don't have color in the diamond, because I can guarantee you, and if you go to their website, it says this, that they sell between, I think they go all the way down to I. The initial I use for I in terms of color is indecent.
It's yellow, right?
It's yellow. It looks like, pea, really is what it looks like. And I can guarantee you that up against one of our stones, even if the stone is not perfectly cut, we don't deal in those. We believe that diamonds are prisms again. And so they got the cut part right, but everything else, and I'll tell you why they can't make the offering of having the most beautiful in the world all the time, is they don't have access to them. They do a whole bunch of things. The GIA certification by far is the most advanced laboratories in the world. Tiffany decided at one point that they couldn't do GIA certificates anymore, and if you ask them why, the story they give is that, they sell so many diamonds. I'm sorry, it's just smoke. And it's so, if Donald Trump taught us one thing, It's the stories in the media and the things that are posted. There's so much smoke out there that simply isn't true. Go to the great online company Blue Nile, and they have all the diamonds in the world you could possibly want. They have no problem getting them GIA certified. They're an online retail store. They're very, very good, but it certainly dismisses what they're doing. And yes, they're a little bit much more expensive than us, diamond for diamond. I mean, but they're a retailer, right? They advertise. You see them all over.
Right.
It's interesting because even when I see inventories like that, when you buy a diamond from a company like Blue Nile or Tiffany, you're paying for every other diamond on their shelves.
That's right.
Right? From insurance costs, which we already raised today. So it's quite fascinating how, people always ask me, why are they so expensive at the retail level? Well, there's a lot of things to deal with for a retailer, especially in the world now. As we discussed, just the cost of really insuring is a lot. And when you buy a diamond, you're not just buying your diamond, you're paying for every other diamond they have in inventory. You're paying for the overheads, you're paying for their advertising. We don't have any of that. We just have our little podcast and our backstage secrets to the industry. But a true diamond broker, it's about keeping overheads low, and it's been like that with me now for decades. So with cut, that's why I say, look, science now can prove the cut, right? These laboratories will measure the cut of the diamond. And it's great that they're well-cut stones at Tiffany, but the reason I say it's embellishment is because they've taken the focus off what's important. Right? Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay, good. I like it when I make sense. Because, but this is, the other thing about any of this is, I say it all none of this is rocket science. You see prisms. Sometimes when you're driving along, you see them in annoying hanging off car mirrors, right? And that sort of thing. I mean, they rock, for lack of a better word. That's what we do with our diamonds. We just, they're prisms. And we get direct access because we're not a retailer. We're not dealing through wholesalers. We literally sell to the guys who sell to the stores. So that's part of our business as well. But, it's they don't get access to these stones as rough from the mines and directly from the cutters. So
Perfect. So we've touched base on all the 4 C's.
Should we talk about the other 4? I think so.
I mean, I know
I
we
can
can go on
get
for
through
a
these
day.
really quickly, okay? So, you have these 4 C's of cut, color, clarity, and carat. Where do you go?
Right.
The 4 things I think people need to have a serious look at before they make a decision on a diamond or a piece of diamond jewelry. I developed these 4 C's, I think it was 1992 or 91. The 4 C's of competence, credibility, cost, and commitment. And so with competence and credibility, I mean, who are they? What's their background in the industry? Where did they come from? What do they do? I sell to more guys who call themselves wholesalers and retailers who say they're direct importers who've never left the city, much less the country.
Right. And meanwhile, you've been all over the world.
Well, and we, as you know, we buy everything direct.
Right.
We don't do anything. Even in North America. I mean, the New York diamond market that's so fabled in North America is a secondary market. It's anyway. So competence, who are they? If you've listened to the podcast, you know our background in the business. Credibility, who have they done business with, and how happy are they? And we love the fact that we have hundreds of millions of engagement rings, for example, placed, and colored diamonds and jewelry, and it's. Credibility is a big deal. Who've they done business with? How happy are they? Some of the celebrities we've done business with at
and
this
if you've
point.
listened to the last podcast, Colin talked about making jewelry for Marcus Naslund. Is that his name?
Oh, you like hockey players. Is this your latest thing? Hey, because my son plays hockey, now you've moved on.
Oh, I've been caught.
Cost, number 3. And when we think of cost, look, what you choose to spend on your diamonds, your engagement ring, your jewelry, that's none of our business. If we have a role for our clients in the cost side, it's always going to be coming back to value. Price will never be the issue with us because no one's going to beat our price, but it'll be about beauty. And so one of the things we give our clients now is a lifetime guarantee on the beauty of their diamond. So we produce a product where she can stick her, for example, with engagement rings, her finger out in the best jewelry store in Vancouver or New York or Hong Kong or Milan or wherever you are in the world, and it will be as good as the best. Mm-hmm. Competence, credibility, cost. Another one for us, and I guess I segued to it, is commitment. If we make an engagement ring, she doesn't love it, change it free. It's not what you pay for. What you pay for is the diamond. In my opinion, the guy has to be happy and the girl has to be thrilled. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Little things like that you need to look for. Those are really the important 4 C's, if you ask me. I mean, Judy, you've been here for a few months now, and we've had a lot of fun. You're enrolled at the GIA. Learning to truly grade a diamond takes time. Right. You know, I mean, I could hire people and they could come sit here like Judy does and grade every day. At the end of a few months, you're still not going to be able to grade diamonds. Mm-hmm. The only return is beauty, and that's where the true value is. So there we go. I think that's it for this week. We managed to get through all the rest of the C's like I said I would. I don't know how much time I have left. I know you were pointing at your wrist. What does that mean, by the way?
Take a guess.
Hey?
Take a guess.
Your steps. You're counting your steps on your eye.
Got it. Bang on.
Right.
Nail on the head.
Look, we're excited to have had you here today. Judy, it's a pleasure.
Always.
I think you're starting to do better. I know we get a lot of feedback that everybody likes you more than me.
I mean,
so
can you blame them?
I think it's pity, really. They just feel sorry for you. Look, we're excited to be here. Next week, I think we're going to go right ahead and talk about, as Taylor requested,
what makes a diamond so special?
What makes a diamond special? What's the story? What is it about them? Why? Why, even at a time where you know there's a transition, I think, from mined diamonds to lab created, why are they still so coveted? Mm-hmm. Why is this ultimate symbol of love so important in the worldwide markets? And we're going to talk about that. And Taylor, thank you for the question. Thank you all for all the questions. Judy, I will look forward to seeing you on Monday.
Is it Friday already?
It's Friday. See, you're having so much fun you don't even know. And everybody out there, please reach out, theglobaldiamondbroker.com. Make sure you sign up for the pink Argyle diamond we're giving away. They're beautiful. Mm-hmm. And, we will see you all soon.
See you all soon, everyone.